Welcome back to another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show, the NFL Draft preview episode, one of the more fun episodes we do every year. We apologize to everybody that was hoping to watch this one live on the ISC Sports Network. Ran into some technical difficulties, so this one is only coming to all you folks out there who listen to the podcast every week. So thank you for letting us come into your ear holes and blast some sports knowledge and hyperbole. That was an awful word there. I screwed that up.
That was terrible.
That was awful. But as you can hear, Josh the J-Man Munt is with me via the telephone because we're still practicing social distancing. J-Man, what's going on?
What the hell is up?
Not a whole lot, man. At least we have a few things to talk about this week.
Yeah, perfect timing for us to have technical difficulties.
Every time we plan for a big show, every time I promote the show, something happens.
That's why I just never get my hopes up with anything, and then when something good happens, I'm just pleasantly surprised.
This box, people, we had a bunch of problems with it back in August, and I swear to you, we hadn't had any problems since September until right now.
And this is literally one of the few shows for the foreseeable future that will actually have stuff to talk about. That means something.
I've even reset the box, and now it's giving me a different code to put in. It's just all screwed up. So, fun stuff. Fun stuff indeed. But, J-Man, we are still happy to have The Damn Landing as the official sponsor of the Tan and J-Man Show. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or handcrafted cocktail when it becomes back open, The Damn Landing is the place to be. The Damn Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou that focuses on freshness and quality. Of course, right now you can call in, get delivery, pick up. You can get the damn smoke on Fridays and Saturdays. Ribs, steaks, barbecue, and more. In addition, when it gets open again, you can wash it down with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews in domestic flavors or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking the fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area, whether it be by boats or by wheels, the Damn Landing is the place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester, Indiana.
You want to hear some Birdie Bogey?
Sure.
So I think all of America watched The Last Dance last night.
6.1 million average, I think, between the two episodes last night, which was a record for an ESPN documentary.
And that's just households. They don't know how many people were in each house, of course,
You're
for
right.
all the social distancing and stuff and quarantining themselves with their family. The number was probably just astronomical how many people watched. But anyway, this is a Michael Jordan question. What Hall of Fame player was eliminated from the playoffs by Michael Jordan most?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I think it actually flashed across the screen last night. I saw this trivia question like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I saved it for whenever I was going to get a chance to use it. And then I kind of saw it on the TV last night. I'm like, oh, crap, I hope Tanner didn't see it. But you clearly didn't. Maybe. I don't know. You could be lying to me.
I'm not lying to you. I didn't see it.
All right.
So that's why, sorry, I'm just updating our the Tan and J-Man Show Nation on social media that we're not live.
That's all right.
So, yeah, fun stuff, man.
Yeah. The first 2 episodes of The Last Dance I thought were sensational.
Yes.
Just really entertaining. You learned a lot. I didn't really know much about it.
No, I mean, it's been hyped up a lot. It definitely lived up to the hype. Before we get into that, let's tell the folks who the Birdie Bogey is sponsored by.
J-Man forgot. I apologize.
Yes. It is sponsored by the Noble Gnome. Right now, you can get a CSA membership starting in May through September. The first pickup time this year, the pickup time this year is going to be on Thursdays from 3 to 6. The first day is on May 7th. The last day is on September 24th at Romine Family Farms, 3328 South 900 West in Mentone, Indiana. What is a CSA membership, you might be asking? CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. You have the ability to purchase a crop share of fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce that you and your family can enjoy all summer long. You buy into a share of their farm by purchasing a yearly membership. The program lasts from May through September. Get a box of seasonal produce that's harvested and picked fresh every week just for you. What can you get in the box? You name it, they have it. Beets, cabbage, carrots, cauliflower, cucumbers, eggplant, herbs, kale, kohlrabi, lettuce, melons, microgreens, onions, peppers, radishes, spinach, summer squash salad mix, sweet corn, Swiss chard, tomatoes, turnips, and winter squash. For more information, go to noblegnomellc.com. You can also follow them on Instagram and like them on Facebook.
Get your veggies.
It's getting really close. It's almost that time.
It's a pretty nice weekend, weather-wise.
Yeah, it's been nice the last couple of days, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We can't really complain.
Especially after getting snow on Friday.
Yeah, that's Indiana weather to a whole, bipolar.
Yep.
You ready for some on this day to learn what's happened on April 20th throughout the history of sports?
Let's hear it.
All right, let's do it. On this day in 1912, Fenway Park officially opened.
Fenway Park.
As the Red Sox beat the New York Highlanders 7-6 in 11 innings.
I have had the opportunity to take a tour of Fenway Park, and it probably doesn't look too much different than it did back then.
Yeah, I've never been there. So,
and in fact, half of their stands in foul territory, like half of them are new, the lower section's new, but then up a few rows are seats from the 1930s that they still use there. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah.
A lot of butts have been sitting in those seats.
That's for sure. That's a fact. Jack. Also on this day in 1912, Tiger Stadium in Detroit opened up as the Tigers beat the Cleveland Indians by a score of 6-5.
I hated that ballpark.
Never been there.
Me either.
Oh, okay. On this day in 1916, Wrigley Field, as it's now known as, what was it known as then?
Weigman Park.
Yes. Opened up as the Cubs beat the Cincinnati Reds 7-6.
Of course they beat the Reds. No one likes the Reds.
This website literally had that fact back-to-back on here, just worded differently.
Huh.
Morons. On this day in 1939, a guy named Ted Williams got his first career hit.
He was a pretty solid ball player.
It was a double off Yankee Red Ruffing.
Red Ruffing, never heard of him.
Me neither.
Ted Williams served in World War II for, I want to say, 4 years. He did, 3 years, from 1943 to 1945. After those 3 years off, he came out and hit .342 with 38 homers after not swinging a bat in 3 years.
Yeah, he was a pretty good player.
Good. Yeah, best hitter of all time.
Yep. On this day in 1944, the NFL legalized coaching from the bench.
Huh. Where were they coaching before? From the parking lot?
I have no idea. I want to say press box, but I doubt there was press box back then. So
I was going to say.
I don't know. Was it like on the field? Like behind where the refs stand or something?
That would be awesome.
I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. On this day, 1946, the first baseball game broadcasted in Chicago took place. The Cardinals versus the Cubs.
WGN?
It doesn't say. I'm guessing, but
I assume it's WGN.
On this day in 1967, New York Met Tom Seaver recorded his first victory as the Mets beat the Cubs 6-1.
He was a very good one. He's a Hall of Famer.
On this day in 1986, we saw this on The Last Dance last night. Michael Jordan set an NBA playoff record with 63 points in a game against the Boston Celtics.
As Larry Bird said, what did he say? It was something like it was just God dressed up as Michael Jordan or something like that.
He was feeling it that night.
Yeah, he was.
Let's see. What else do we got here? On this day in 1996, the Chicago Bulls won their record 72nd game of the season.
That team was pretty good. Best team of all time, I would say, since the Warriors didn't get to finish off their season with 73 wins, but they blew a 3-1 lead to the Cleveland Cavs.
Yes, and memes have been made of that all over the place. On this day in 1996, the NFL Draft was held. Who was the number 1 overall pick that year?
1996?
Yes.
Was that the Keyshawn year?
It was Keyshawn Johnson from USC, first picked by the New York Jets.
Booger!
Good one. On this day in 1997, the Cubs beat the New York Mets, ending an NL Worst opening 14 straight losses.
The Cubs lost 14 straight that year, huh?
To start the year. How would you be feeling?
I probably would have stopped watching by about
just give up.
10 or 11.
Season's over. This has been fun.
If you start 0-14, the season it's over.
Yeah.
There's no recovering from that.
I mean, how bad would that suck? You've waited all off season. You're excited baseball's back, and your team comes out and starts 0-14.
Now, to be honest, they probably knew going in.
I'm sure they weren't supposed to be
very
good. But...
Most fans knew that, but I mean, you're not expecting 0-14, maybe like 5-9 or something, or 4-10, but 1-14 is pretty bad.
Yeah. Also on this day, 1997, Mark McGwire became the 4th person to hit a home run on Detroit Tigers' left field roof. Others include Frank Howard, Harmon Killebrew, and Cecil Fielder.
Yeah, that roof would like hang over into the field of play, but of course, if you hit it way up there, it's a home run anyway. But that was a weirdly constructed ballpark.
Yeah. On this day in 2002, the NFL Draft was held. Who was the first pick overall in the 2002 NFL Draft?
2002. 2002. It's probably gonna make me mad when I see it. We just went over the NFL draft number 1 overall draft picks like 3 weeks ago, and I'm already blanking. I think Mike Vick was 2001.
You are correct.
It's gonna make me so mad when I see it. 2002. I don't know.
Fresno State quarterback David Carr was the first pick ever by the Houston Texans.
You know, part of me wants to stab myself in the jugular vein right now for not remembering that.
It was a very forgettable year. I mean, David Carr's a forgettable quarterback, so.
Much like his brother.
Yes, I will agree with you. On this day in 2008, Danica Patrick, who was driving for Andretti Green Racing at the time, won the Indy Japan 300, becoming the first female driver in history to win an IndyCar Series race.
Is she still dating Aaron Rodgers?
As far as I know.
Cool.
And that's going to wrap up the On This Day segment, brought to you by Proforma Printhouse. Are you looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting? Proforma Printhouse has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all of your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company. Give them a call today at 574-210-3815.
That was a pretty good On This Day this week.
Yeah, I actually had some interesting facts to share, which always makes it fun. So we kind of hit on it at the start of the show. I mean, of course, we're going to be talking the majority of the time here tonight about the NFL Draft, because this is our draft preview show that we were hoping to have live for everybody to watch. But like I said, unfortunately, we couldn't, but we're glad you're listening to us anyways. But we also want to recap episode 1 and episode 2 of last night's The Last Dance documentary about the Chicago Bulls. You enjoyed it, Josh. I take it.
I really enjoyed it. I did.
I did too. I could have watched a few more episodes last night.
Honestly, if they would have released all 10, I wouldn't have watched all 10. But there's a good chance I would have finished it tonight.
Yep. What was the biggest takeaway from episode 1 for you?
Jerry Krause was a maniacal idiot who thought he deserved all the credit for building those championship teams, when in reality, Michael Jordan did that, obviously. And the fact that he just refused to pay Scottie Pippen means now Pippen didn't want to have to bet on himself just in case risk injury and all that, but he took a bad deal. But they could have easily restructured his contract. I mean, he was paid what? He was 122nd in the NBA in salary in 1997. So I knew a lot of Bulls fans hated Jerry Krause, but I did not know the extent of the hatred until last night.
Yeah, Krause is definitely going to look like as a villain in this. I will say Jay Williams today was talking about Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause drafted Jay Williams 2nd overall out of Duke, and he was actually kind of having his back today, saying how good a guy he was, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure it was tough to deal with egos like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and some others. As far as Pippen's contract, yeah, he was grossly underpaid, but Scottie should have tried to renegotiate. And that's on the owner's fault, I feel like. The owner of the Bulls had a closed-door policy pretty much when it came to renegotiating your contract. I mean, that's where the owner has to step up and take care of his player.
Well, the problem with Jerry Reinsdorf, and he's done it forever, because he's the owner of the White Sox as well, and they've just refused to pay players over the years. He refused to pay Bulls players, and he acted so innocent in this, and he tried to step in. And, well, he's the owner. He should be able to step in and say, hey, we're going to pay our guys what they're worth. But he didn't have the balls to do it. Yeah.
And, the Bulls declined many, many trades for Scottie. One of them, my dad told me today, was Sean Kemp was on the table. It was Kemp's 3rd or 4th year in the league. That would have been interesting.
That would have been really interesting. Kemp was one of the best dunkers of all time. Would he have been? He wouldn't have meshed, I don't think, well with that Bulls team.
Probably not.
Pippen was really kind of egoless in the fact that, he was a good passer. He was pretty unselfish, and he had to share the limelight with Michael Jordan, and you're just not going to get the kind of attention you probably deserve that way.
I am interested to see if we see the side of Pippen when Jordan was retired for the whole season and part of the other season he was, because during that whole season when Jordan was retired, the Bulls only won 2 less games than they did that previous year with Jordan. Yeah. Pippen was 3rd in the MVP voting that year, but in a playoff game against the Knicks, Pippen was so mad at the end of the game that they weren't going to draw up a play for him for a potential game-winning shot. He refused to go into the game. Tony Kukoc ended up hitting the game-winning shot. The whole team celebrated. Pippen walked to the locker room.
Now that's pretty selfish.
So I think we will see a side of Scottie Pippen like that.
And good.
And Scottie in real life, he's terrible with finances. He's filed for bankruptcy at least once, if not twice.
That's not great. Of course, everyone was on the Bulls for not paying him. However, when he went to Portland, the dude made just a ridiculous amount of money and actually ended up with more career earnings just from the basketball team than Michael Jordan did.
Yeah.
Pippen ended with $109 million in career earnings. Jordan with $92 million.
And Pippen
it's not like he's hurting.
And Pippen went to Houston first before he went to Portland.
Right.
So. Yeah, I remember back then. I remember being young, but I remember when Scottie, they were trying to figure out where he was going to go. Everybody thought he was going to go to the Lakers. But then he didn't. So he went to Houston instead.
Any recollection.
That was shortly before Phil joined the Lakers. Because then, of course, that would have made sense. But Scottie battled against those Laker teams on Portland. So it's interesting. You're definitely going to see some personalities. Rodman's going to be featured heavily next week.
Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, the bad boys of the Pistons against the Bulls. That's going to be a fun one to watch. I'm really anxious to hear why Michael Jordan hates Isaiah Thomas so much, to the extent of when the USA team was getting selected, Jordan said if Isaiah was on it, he wasn't going to play. So
it's kind of interesting. The director of the documentary kind of did a Q&A, and of course Jordan said beforehand that he was nervous people were going to think he's a really bad guy.
Yeah.
After the documentary, and somebody asked the director, who's going to look the worst on this documentary, and the guy said Isaiah. So it'll be interesting.
It will be interesting.
See how that plays out.
Michael Jordan, I don't think's ever been known to be the nicest guy in the world anyways.
No.
And when you're that big a star, it's almost impossible to be.
Yeah. And he was so competitive.
Yes.
And just didn't – he just refused to lose. That I'm sure he rubbed guys the wrong way that probably weren't taking it as seriously, guys that wanted that paycheck and were more concerned about that than they were about winning.
It would have been really hard to be his teammate.
No, it would have been awful. You would have won a ton. It honestly kind of would have been a lot like playing for Bill Belichick, because I've heard guys that leave New England say they hated playing there. They loved winning, but they just didn't like the atmosphere and the kind of mentality. And it kind of made football not fun for them. That's why they see a lot of guys leaving free agency.
Yep.
Because of that. And I'm sure a lot of that was going on with Jordan back then.
Yeah. No, I think you hit the nail on the head there. But very good first 2 episodes of the documentary. They got me hooked. I'm ready to see the rest. I'm glad they moved it up to the April release instead of making us wait till June. I'm even excited for the future of the documentary series that ESPN looks like they're going to do.
Yeah, Lance Armstrong is one in the works, which will be really interesting. Bruce Lee, and then the one I'm really interested in is the 1998 home run chase between McGuire and Sosa. That'll be a fun one as well.
Yeah, the Bruce Lee one, I don't know about that one. I mean, that didn't really pique my interest right away. But
no, I'm with you. I wasn't really into that, and I'm not really into Bruce Lee movies or anything either.
Yeah.
But
were you a Bull fan growing up?
I was a Bulls fan growing up. In fact, my mom was telling me last night that I used to wear a Bulls onesie, a Jordan onesie back in the day, and I used to have a bunch of Jordan shirts.
Yeah.
My dad was kind of a Celtics fan back in the 80s, but then Jordan got there and he kind of switched to a Bulls fan, and now, of course, he doesn't like the NBA, kind of like us.
Yeah.
Because it was just so much more entertaining back then, in my opinion.
I was a Bulls fan when I was young until Jordan retired. I mean, I had the Bulls trash can, I had the Bulls comforter, I had the number 23 red jersey. I had a pair of Jordans when I was really small. And then I had a couple more like in elementary school, but.
There was a question I was going to ask you. Are the 1990s Chicago Bulls the most popular sports team of all time?
Yeah, I would say so. They were globally just popular.
Yeah, globally. And even though they won a ton and they won 6 championships in 10 years and they had won 3 in a row twice, it doesn't seem like they were hated quite like the New England Patriots are now.
I bet they were in this state.
Oh,
I know.
I'm
I mean, the
sure.
Pacers, if it wasn't for Jordan and LeBron, the Pacers probably have at least one title.
Well, the thing is, I bet at least half the state were Bulls fans anyway. So was it really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure from like Indianapolis south, they were all Pacer fans, but up north of Indy, I bet they were all Bulls fans.
Yeah, I do know some people tweeting last night that this took them back to their teenage years, and they said they hated Jordan like they hate Brady and the Patriots. So I think there are a lot of. I mean, I think in Utah fans were on Twitter last night saying they hated the Bulls. I mean, so I think there were parts that did hate the Bulls, but and if you weren't a huge Bull or Jordan fan, 6 titles, that gets annoying. But
the thing is, you have to be a diehard New England Patriot fan to like New England Patriots,
right.
I would say.
You're right.
Where with the Bulls, I don't think you had any problem rooting for them, even though you might not be a fan of them. Now, if you're losing to them every year, that got a little old. Like Knicks fans, I can't imagine like them at all. And it was probably
Piston
painful.
Piston fans?
Piston fans. Of course, Detroit beat up on them there in the late 80s and stuff. But then Jordan obviously got the best of them later on. But I understand. Like, if they were to make a long say 25 years from now, they make a documentary about the New England Patriots, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to watch it.
That's a good point. And Michael Jordan's worth $2.1 billion is his net worth right now. Most of that's thanks, of course, to his brand, the Jordan brand. It's grown so much. But it's interesting. We look back, and the Bulls dominated so much, and then there was only a 1-year period before the Lakers started dominating. They won 3 out of 4. I mean, and that was Phil Jackson as well, but it was like, then all of a sudden the Lakers were the talk around the nation for a while with Kobe and Shaq.
There really hasn't been any parity at all in the NBA in like 30 years.
This year was like the biggest year we were going to have.
I know it. I know it. Anyone could have won. I mean, you had the Spurs winning the ton. You had the Celtics won a couple. The Lakers won throughout the 2000s. Then you had, Golden State, as I said, the Heat then did it as well.
The Mavs were sprinkled in there once.
Dallas won 2.
Two.
Dallas
one.
Won.
They
won.
Yeah, split with the Heat.
But it's and of course Cleveland won 1. But I just kind of put the Heat and the Cavs together because it was a LeBron thing.
Yes.
So.
But it was interesting looking up the net worth, and why I did that was I posted a poll on it was on the Tan J Man show, Facebook, on Twitter, on my personal Twitter, on Instagram last night. And my question was, who's the bigger sports icon, Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods? And why I do think it is Michael Jordan. I'm coming out and saying that right now. I could make a few cases for Tiger, but I do think it's Michael. But it was interesting in the poll results, and I'll bring it up right now. There was one guy on Facebook who said Tiger. A lot of people said them both, that they like them both. Why can't you like both? That wasn't what I was trying to say anyways. You can like them both. I don't care. But last night on Twitter, the last time I looked, nobody had voted for Tiger. Let me see. Now there's been 30 votes, 80% Michael, 20% Tiger Woods.
And
I think I know two of those people who voted for Tiger, I'm pretty sure.
As you saw me comment last night and got on my case, I was trying to sway people to vote for Jordan because I can't take anyone seriously that would vote for Tiger. Now, in the U.S., I would say Tiger is right up there with him. But globally, do people really care about Tiger Woods like they do Michael Jordan?
I bet you in Europe they do.
Maybe, but
I mean here's one of my defense of Tiger. Anywhere around the world, you say golf, who do you think about?
Tiger Woods. That's fair.
When you say basketball, nowadays people might say LeBron, even Kobe. I mean, sure, Jordan's right there, but I mean, right away when you say golf, it's Tiger. There's no Jack Nicklaus. There's no nothing. The
difference is Tiger Woods is still playing, and he's
you're right.
40 something. I mean,
44,
you're right. You can play golf obviously a lot longer than you can basketball. But say you take, I don't know what Jordan's heyday would have been. Let's just say that 96, 97 team.
Yep.
Okay, you take people then and talk about Jordan. Then you take, I don't know, what would have Tiger's heyday been, like 2005? Like that would have been his kind of, I honestly have no clue.
Yeah, probably, except, I mean, the year 2000, 2001, where it was one who won 4 majors in a row.
Oh, no, okay,
over a calendar year, he won the U.S. Open, the British, the PGA, and then the Masters. Yeah.
I would compare just both of them together and see what we get, because it would have been it probably would have been a lot closer. Had we have asked those questions back then than they would now.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, Tiger doesn't have the huge brand. I mean, he has his own brand, but it's not as big as the Jordan brand, of course. But they did Tigerade and everything, and it's just interesting. It's hard to compare the two because on one you got a team sport, one you got an individual sport. One's won 6 titles, but without Scotty or some of those helpers, who knows? The other one's won 81 tournaments and 15 majors. So it was interesting reading. They're not friends anymore. Tiger defriended Michael a couple of years ago.
Huh.
I don't know why.
It seemed like it should have been the other way around after Tiger's indiscretions.
Even though Michael's not the cleanest on the marriage end either.
No, he's not.
But he didn't get taken for a lot of money like Tiger did, or at least as much as Tiger. And that's why when I was looking up, and Tiger's net worth is $800 million. I was surprised. I thought at one time he was in the billions.
Yeah, I thought too he was a billionaire.
So, now I know on the golf course alone, he's won $1.4 billion in earnings over his career on the golf course alone.
That's a lot.
Outside of sponsorships.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. So, but I will say on record, I agree. I think it's Jordan. I mean, Jordan, the brand is huge, and what he did with the Bulls, like you said, they're probably the most popular sports team ever. Right. So,
I mean, a college athletics program is now sponsored by they're a Jordan brand. I mean, isn't Michigan a Jordan brand?
North Carolina, Michigan. There's a handful now. It used to just be Carolina. There's a handful of them now. Yeah.
That's insane.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to episodes 3 and 4 next Sunday, 9:00 Eastern Time, live on ESPN for the mature version, ESPN2 for the censored version.
And really, the mature version really wasn't that bad.
A couple F-bombs.
Couple F words, but other than that, there's maybe 4 or 5. It wasn't like a crazy amount like you usually hear and stuff like that.
But
I will say it was weird hearing F-bombs on ESPN.
Yes.
The only time you ever hear him is maybe there's a hot mic or something, but they were obviously playing, so.
Yep. But it
I
was,
enjoyed it.
yeah, it's interesting that, somebody's been sitting on this footage for a long time. Some of this footage. That's what I found kind of interesting about it.
Yeah, I had no clue a camera crew was following them around for.
Or gave access to
that whole. Yeah. But of course, when you win 5 championships, why not give access? Just whatever. Watch us win another one.
Sure. And another thing I take away, I didn't realize his dad was so hard on him. I thought him and his dad were always best buds from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And that'll be an episode coming up,
yep.
chronicling his father's death and all that. So that there's a lot of info a lot of us probably don't have that we're going to learn about it.
Oh, sure.
There was always so many rumors about Jordan's gambling debts and all that, and that's why his dad was killed and all that. So
yeah, and was it just me or did Jordan's mom look younger than Jordan?
She looked great for being. I mean, Jordan's 57 years old. So how old is she? She's got to be at least 70 something.
Oh yeah, at least 70. If she had him at 70, I mean, if she's only 70, she had him at 13. So
yeah, I was thinking 40. Yeah.
But
so she might be 80, and she didn't look it at all.
Yeah, but very good documentary. Go check out episode 1 and 2 if you haven't already. I think it's definitely worth your time. So, all right, J-Man, let's get into the mock draft. We're going to do our mock draft a little differently. In your years past, I'm the only one who's done a mock draft, I believe. I don't think you've ever done one. This is our fourth. This is our 4th draft preview show, believe it or not.
Crazy.
But this year, we decided we're going to split up the picks, evens and odds. So the J-Man gets all the odd teams. I get the evens.
Did you do an actual mock draft, write it down or anything?
I got the teams in order, but no, I'm waiting to see who you pick, and I'm going off that.
Yeah, because I started doing that yesterday, and I'm like, why the heck am I doing
that?
There's
no reason because it gets screwed up.
No
now, I will probably do an actual mock draft, and you can too if you want, and post it before the draft Thursday. But I thought this would be more fun for a podcast purpose. And we did this the other night with the podcast I contribute to, the Orange Weekly podcast, which is a Broncos. There was 4 of us that did it, and it was a lot of fun. So,
and I am not doing any trades or anything.
Nope, we don't. Nope, this is just
just make it too complicated.
Yep. So you were on the clock with the Cincinnati Bengals.
The 2020 NFL Draft is in session.
Boo!
And now I am gonna boo him. In my house on Thursday. I am going to boo the crap out of.
I hope they pipe in some booze. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be awesome.
They won't, but that'd be awesome.
With the number 1 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals take Joe Burrow, quarterback, Louisiana State University.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Yep, I think that's a good pick. I think that's going to be the pick. I'd be shocked if it wasn't, unless they trade out, which I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Ohio boy stays in the state.
We haven't heard any rumors about it, but it will be really interesting if Joe does not put on the cap. Of course, he won't, because there's not going to be walking across the stage or anything. And we'd probably hear rumors that Burrow doesn't want to be in Cincinnati. Yeah. Right now, but it'd be interesting if it comes out and say, "All right, trade me, fellas."
Yep. But I think it's a good pick. The only thing I'm a little wary of is, he had a phenomenal year last year. One of the best, if not the best, college season quarterbacks ever had. But he's never faced adversity, really, on the football field. He's going to go to a team. Of course, whoever they bring is going to – that kind of backfired on me because whoever they bring is going to face adversity because the Bengals aren't going to be good. So,
sure.
You just got to hope he's not a one-and-done or a one-year wonder, but –
That's the thing that would worry me a little bit. I wouldn't really be overly concerned about it, but the fact that it was just a 1-year type of thing.
And one thing about quarterbacks from programs like LSU, Alabama, all these other, they have so much talent around them.
Sure.
But you're going to have great talent in the NFL too. So.
But they also they're playing against defenses that are filled with NFL talent as well.
You're right. So. That's a good point. So,
but Joe Burrow had a running back that will probably go in the top 50 picks. He had 3 great wide receivers, so I understand.
Yeah. So now I'm on the clock with the Washington Redskins pick at number 2. I'm taking Chase Young, defensive end from the Ohio State University.
I will go on record and say Chase Young ends up being the best player in this draft.
I think he's the best football player on the board. Yeah, he's a beast. And I think they add him to the pass rush with Ryan Kerrigan on the other side. I don't think even Dan Snyder can screw this one up.
Oh, Dan Snyder's incompetence knows no bounds.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Now, if it was a year from now and Dwayne Haskins doesn't show improvement, maybe they take a quarterback. But
because they could be in that range, in that top 2 or 3 range, if Haskins does not have a good year.
Yep.
To take a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields.
Yep.
That's a good pick. That's probably the safest pick in the draft, too, I would say. With the number 3 pick, the Detroit Lions take Jeffrey Okudah, Ohio State, cornerback.
Yep. A lot of good corners in this draft, but Okudah's by far number 1. Crazy stat about him, I think I shared this a week or 2 ago. He had no pass interference penalties on him last year.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. So I could see the Detroit trading out of that pick, but if they stay there.
I could also see them taking Isaiah Simmons, because Simmons is also, I think he's probably the second best player in the draft. So versatile, 235, 240 pounds, and ran like a 4.38 40. You can play him at linebacker. You can play him at safety. He's even played slot corner.
He played slot. He played slot mostly in 2019, which is crazy.
That's insane for how big he is.
2018, actually, I think it was. But, yeah. And Derek Brown's another one to keep your eye on there. But like I said, I think it'll be Jeff Okudah if they stay there. So, all right. Now I'm on the clock. Number 4 with the New York Giants. Always hard to figure out what they're going to do. Heck, there was I think it's a smoke screen maybe for a potential trade or something. But there was a report today that they've been scouting Justin Herbert big time, which would just be stupid. You took Daniel Jones in the top 10 last year, but
at the same time, if somebody's wanting to jump ahead of a team like the Chargers or Dolphins, you might as well have a lot of info on Justin Herbert as well if you're the Giants.
Yeah.
And there's no harm in it.
Yeah.
If, say, Herbert's a free agent in 4 or 5 years and you need a quarterback, they have some info on him from.
Yep.
So I think it was just kind of blown out of proportion.
But the Giants need help on the O-line. They need cornerback help. They need edge rush help.
Everywhere.
I think they should go Isaiah Simmons, but I think they go with Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. Offensive tackle.
Yes, sir. He's a good player.
Yes.
And he had a great combine as well.
Yep.
All right. With the number 5 pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, this will be the J-Man's Bucket Prediction of the Week. The Miami Dolphins select Justin Herbert, quarterback, Oregon. You can take it to the bank.
Why is that tide turned within the last week?
I've heard the Herbert Dolphins rumors for a month. So it's either Dolphins are putting up one of the greatest smoke screens of all time, which very well could be, or they're extremely incompetent and couldn't keep things in-house, and their love for Herbert somehow got to the media. I just feel if it were me, I'd take Tua Tagovailoa, not even think about it. Easy pick. I think he's going to be the better NFL quarterback by a wide margin. But just the fact that they're the Miami Dolphins, I just feel like they're going to screw this up really bad. Now, they could take an offensive lineman easily at that spot as well. It could be that Mekhi Becton, who failed a drug test. I've also seen him mocked there. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but I just think they're going to take Herbert, as much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's just weird because all the mocks were showing Tua, and then this past week it flipped. So, or at least all the mocks I look at, but it flipped.
Now, I did read a report today that a reporter said the Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, is not even mentioning Justin Herbert as a potential possibility. So who knows?
Well, we'll see.
I don't trust the Dolphins as far as I can throw them when it comes to – and really, they're by far the most interesting team in this draft. They have 7 picks in the top 100, have 14 picks overall, 3 first-rounders. But you got to start winning. So
it's time to make yourself better. You got to make yourself better in the draft. If you can't do it this time, then
can't screw this one up.
And the J-Man's book prediction of the week is brought to you by, like it is every week, Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Travis Wottring. For life insurance, home insurance, auto insurance, renter's insurance, business insurance, workers' comp, farm insurance, annuities, give Travis a call today at 219-869-4561. You can also reach him via email at travis.wottring@infb.com. All right, I'm back on the clock with one of my favorite teams. Sarcasm. The Los Angeles Chargers. And I wish you would have.
Carson City.
I wish you would have taken Tua, because I think he is going to be better than Justin Herbert, and I wasn't nervous about going against Justin Herbert twice a year in the AFC West. But you leave me no choice. I got to take Tua Tagovailoa. Yeah, quarterback from Alabama. He is their future.
Yeah.
He learns behind Tyrod for about the first 4 or 5 games and then takes over.
I will say, going back to the Dolphins for a second, the Dolphins didn't sign Drew Brees because of an injury concern. Can't do this whole thing again.
Oh, good point.
You just have to take a chance here. If it doesn't work out and he gets hurt all the time, okay. But you can't just live in fear that it's going to happen. Because Jake Long, when they took him number 1 overall, had no injury concerns, no injury history at all.
Yep.
And he was hurt in 5 years and never really did anything again.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Very good point. So. You're on the clock with the Carolina Panthers.
With the 7th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers take Derek Brown, defensive lineman, Auburn.
All right.
That is a big need for the Carolina Panthers.
Yes, they need defensive line. They need cornerback. They need linebacker. They need
edge
wide
rusher,
receiver.
offensive line.
They need a lot.
They're in a good spot there at 7.
They don't need running back.
No, they have a pretty good one there.
Yeah.
Who's their backup guy? I have no clue.
I don't know who their backup running back is anymore. Yep. Derek Brown from Auburn. All right. That puts the Arizona Cardinals on the clock at number 8 here. I'm really eyeing that Isaiah Simmons. I'm eyeing him because he keeps slipping, and I think he's just a freak. I could go wide receiver. There's a lot of good talented wide receivers, and I think Murray will be in the ear about his boy CeeDee Lamb, but they just got DeAndre Hopkins, so I don't think they go wide receiver. I think they go offensive tackle in Jedrick Wills from Alabama.
It's a good pick. He is number 7 on my top 400 NFL draft rankings that I came up with myself.
This draft has some good QBs. It's wide receiver heavy, it's offensive tackle heavy, and it's cornerback heavy. So
it's probably, I would say, maybe it's just because we haven't had any sports and I'm so looking forward to the draft.
Oh no, yeah.
It just feels like this draft is so much better than the previous 5 years. I don't know why. It just seems like it's loaded with talent, which is good for the Dolphins to have a ton of picks. It's not good for their complete incompetence at drafting players.
Well, you're on the clock with another Florida team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, at 9.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, with pick number 9, they are looking. Did you see the Yannick Ngakoue fight with your AEW boy?
Yep, and I got Tony's back. I got Tony's back in that one.
Of course you do. But Yannick Ngakoue is looking to be traded out of there. So they're going to need an edge rusher because he's pretty good.
He's franchise tagged right now.
But he wants out, and I cannot, after this whole thing, see him playing another snap in Jacksonville.
No.
So I think they will take K'Lavon Chaisson, edge rusher from Indiana State University.
I had him going about in the teens, but I like it.
He is. I stole Matt Miller's. He's a Bleacher Report NFL scouting guy. I stole his top 400, and he is ranked 9th on his board, and he's one of the more respected guys out there. So.
No, I like it. I just didn't see that coming.
It's never a good thing to go based off the need.
Yep.
But the fact that he's a top 10 prospect and it fills a need will be huge for them.
Well, I got the Cleveland Browns at number 10. I actually had this exact pick the other night with the Orange Weekly guys, and I'm going to take the same player I took that night, and that's Isaiah Simmons, linebacker from Clemson.
He fell quite a bit.
Yep. So
it's a good pick.
Welcome to Cleveland, Isaiah. You're a Brown now.
That stinks.
But they need offensive line help. They need linebacker help. They need safety help. But I think they can get a great linebacker there at 10. I mean, if he slides down there, wow, what a pick.
With the 11th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the New York Jets take Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver, Alabama. That is their biggest need is wide receiver. I would hate it because I think he's the best receiver in the draft, and he could potentially go in that top 5 range, but I think he goes 11.
Yeah, there's I see them either going tackle or wide receiver, depending on who's there, but I probably think they go wide out. I agree. I think Jerry Jeudy is the best out of the 3. Out of him, CeeDee Lamb, and Henry Ruggs. I think they're all 3 really good and head and shoulders above the rest. But I do think Jerry Jeudy is the best. He's at least the best route runner of the 3. There's rumors from Denver Post writer Woody Page that the Broncos are trying to trade up between 8 to 10. They possibly get Jerry Jeudy, but we'll see.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's just a rumor, so we'll see. That leaves the Las Vegas Raiders at number 12. They need a wide receiver. I'm already convinced they're getting one of the 3s. Which one are they going to get? I have them going with CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma.
He is a good one.
He's a very big physical wide receiver out of the 3. So.
And he ran pretty well at the combine, too. Ran a 4.5.
Yep.
So it's a good pick there.
Hate it, but is what it is.
With the 13th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers, via the Indianapolis Colts, also need a wide receiver because they lost Emmanuel Sanders to the Saints. They don't have great weapons out there for old Jimmy G. He has a couple good running backs, but he needs somebody to throw the ball to. So I am taking Henry Ruggs with the 13th overall pick.
Yeah, I think he fits in that Kyle Shanahan offense perfectly. He is speedy, the fastest guy in college football last year. He can help in the return game, too. So.
Yep.
At number 14, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They need some offensive line help, some running back help, maybe even a wide receiver to go with Evans and Godwin. But I think they do get Tom Brady some protection. And they go Andrew Thomas, tackle from Georgia.
Yeah, they need some offensive line help in the worst way.
They got to go all in. They got 2 years with Brady. You got to go for it. You got to go for it.
Have to. You have to sell out for that Super Bowl. So, Am I up now? Sorry.
You are up with the Denver Broncos.
With the Denver Broncos. Let's see here. You said they want a wide receiver.
They need wide receiver, cornerback, offensive line.
Offensive line, and even this thing I'm looking at has listed linebacker and safety as their other needs, but they can address those later. So with the 15th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select, let's see here, C.J. Henderson, cornerback, Florida.
I like it. I would be happy with that.
You said you were going to let me have the 15th pick so you can argue with me.
You made a good pick.
Thank you.
So I can't argue. If they cannot get Jeudy, Ruggs, or Lamb, that's who I want them to get. I also wouldn't mind Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle from South Carolina, because I think he has potential to be even better than Brown for the best defensive tackle.
Especially since they lost Derek Wolfe.
Yes. They could go offensive tackle, but I think you can get one of those later. Same thing.
It's a good tackle class.
They could go Kenneth Murray, linebacker, but I think it's a little high for him. But the thing is, if Jeudy, Ruggs, or Lamb isn't there, I don't want them to go like Justin Jefferson, who they're very high on.
Sure.
I think he's a great slot receiver, but the wide receivers are so stacked, you can get a good one in the second or third round. You don't have to get one at 15. So, Henderson and Kinlaw are the 2 guys I would like if they don't go Jeudy, Lamb, or Ruggs. So, good job, J-Man.
Justin Jefferson on this draft rankings is listed 20th, but I think you could probably get him easily in the middle of the second round. I think we'll see, as you said, some wide receivers fall that would have easily been first rounders a few years ago. Even last year, fall down and get them in the second round.
I think we see 6 or 7 go in the first round personally, but I think there's that many good ones. There's other good ones that will go in the second or third round that would be first round picks in other years. So,
right.
So the Dirty Birds, Atlanta Falcons, on the clock here. And they are glad that you took C.J. Henderson, from cornerback from Florida, because they want Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle from South Carolina. He will fit in perfectly in that Gus Bradley defense.
Yes, the huge year for their head coach.
Dan Quinn.
Is escaping. Dan Quinn.
Yep. He saved himself getting hot last year at the end.
I was thinking Gus Bradley was their head coach, but he was in Jacksonville, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
That's what I thought. So, it's a good pick there, T-Dog.
Yep. Now you got the Cowgirls.
That's mature. The Dallas Cowboys with the 17th overall pick. Their biggest needs are edge rusher, cornerback, offensive line, wide receiver, safety. I have them taking, let's see, his linebacker is not listed. I wish it was because I was going to take a linebacker for him.
Do it.
I have them taking, who the heck knows what old Jerry Jones is going to do. I have them taking Mekhi Becton, offensive lineman, Louisville.
I didn't even realize he was still on the board, to be honest.
He is still on the board. He has a drug issue, so he might fall farther. But I could also see him being taken in like the top 10 as well. Yeah, he's a freak athlete. So
yeah, he's huge, but he's, like you said, freakishly athletic for his size. So now I get a draft for your Miami Dolphins at 18.
You get a draft for him twice.
I get a draft for him twice, so you can argue with me all day long here.
Let's hear it.
They already took quarterback, so they got that need off the board. I got here they need offensive tackle, safety, edge rusher, running back.
Sounds about right.
Well, I'm going to go offensive lineman here. I'm going with Austin Jackson from USC.
You know, he has been listed as a guy they really like a lot. Mm-hmm. He's really young and probably should have gone back to school is what I read.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'll be an immediate starter. I want an immediate starter at 18, you know. Mm-hmm. Now I was hoping Mekhi Becton would have fallen to him.
Sure. Or Jedrick Wills or somebody.
The J-Man just happened to take him. But I will go on record and say I want DeAndre Swift at that 18th spot because they desperately need a running back. They have Jordan Howard for a 2-year deal, and I think he's a good stopgap. But you need your franchise running back. And DeAndre Swift is the best one in the draft.
I think they can get him at 26.
They might be able to get him at 26. I'd be a little nervous about it.
Would you rather have Austin Jackson or Joshua Jones, tackle from Houston?
Probably Josh Jones. They're ranked about the same spot in a lot of rankings. But.
Okay. All right. Well, I am not apologizing for my pick, so.
I'm not saying you should.
So you're on the clock.
Oh, yeah. Raiders are on the clock via the Bears. Sorry, I am thinking I have the evens and I'm having the odds. It does not actually say what the Raiders need. I'm going to go back to the first one. Wide receiver, cornerback, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, linebacker. You had them taking CeeDee Lamb. I'm pretty sure that was a long time ago, it feels like.
Yep.
So with the 19th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select Jeff Gladney, cornerback, Texas Christian University.
All right. Yeah, I thought they'd go corner there. I'm surprised you didn't go A.J. Terrell from Clemson.
Well, A.J. Terrell is farther down the list.
Yeah, we're looking at a different list there, son. So.
We are.
But no, I think that fits. That fits. So. All right, I got the Jaguars at 20. They need a lot, like we said earlier. They got who'd you draft for them at 9?
I took an edge that Clavon Chason, I believe.
That's right. So they need offensive line help. They could use interior defensive line help, cornerback, safety. So I am going to take A.J. Terrell, since I just mentioned him, corner from Clemson.
Solid pick for them.
Sure.
They need a lot of help.
Yes, they do.
With the 21st pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles take Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, Louisiana State.
I've had him going there in every mock I've had. So
that is the Eagles' biggest need, it looks like. So
I think that fits. So 22, I got the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings I got down. They need cornerback, wide receiver, edge rusher, offensive line, defensive line. I'm going to go corner here. Christian Fulton, corner from LSU.
Solid. Solid. The New England Patriots are now on the clock. They obviously lost Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Or Tom Brady. I
got it in your head now.
The New England Patriots with the 23rd pick take Jordan Love.
He pulled the trigger.
I pulled the trigger. To be their future quarterback. I don't know if he starts right away, but
I was curious if I thought the three spots he could go to: Patriots, Saints, or Packers.
I mentioned Tampa Bay, but you bit my head off.
I just think that'd be dumb in the first round. I really do, but
I agree with you on that. But I wouldn't put anything past Tampa Bay. Now, come second round, he's still on the board. Maybe they pull the trigger, but I agree. Are the Bucks picking like 15th or something like that?
14th
or 14th? Okay, then that's probably a reach.
And I'm telling you, if he slides to the second round, watch for the Colts. They have the second and the 12th pick in the second round.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Watch. He won't slide down far enough to Pittsburgh, but maybe they trade up into the first round. Pittsburgh could be a good landing spot for him.
Yeah, they need a future guy as well.
So it'll be interesting. Well, I got the Saints at 24. I think this is Drew Brees' last year. I think they are going for it. They're trying to give him weapons, get the team weapons overall. So this guy is not on the offensive side of the ball, but I think he can be a weapon for them. And that's linebacker Patrick Queen from LSU. And I swear I'm not an LSU fan. I swear. It feels like every pick I'm doing is LSU.
They have a lot of good players.
Well, yeah, they were amazing last year. So
that are going to go in the first round, so I don't blame you.
Yep.
So. All right, with the 25th pick here is the Minnesota Vikings. They have needs at cornerback, wide receiver, edge rusher, offensive lineman, and safety. I am going to take a quarterback. T. Higgins, wide receiver, Clemson. Did I say cornerback? I'm going to take a wide receiver for him. I'm going to take a wide receiver for him. T. Higgins, Clemson.
I like that pick.
They traded Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills, so they need another guy out there.
I like that pick a lot. At 26, the Miami Dolphins are on the clock again. They add some firepower to their offense with a running back. But it's not the one Josh wants. It's Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin.
I know they like Jonathan Taylor. Has DeAndre Swift even gone yet?
No.
I don't think he has.
There's not too many teams in the first round that need a running back.
I prefer DeAndre Swift or even Clyde Edwards-Helaire from LSU, who I think is going to be the next Maurice Jones-Drew with his ability to catch the ball to the backfield. And he's 5'6", 5'7", and he's just like a bowling ball out there. So the comparisons make sense. But they need a running back. The thing I would be wary about is how many times Jonathan Taylor touched the ball with Wisconsin.
Yep.
But solid pick there, Tana, man.
Blew everybody away at the combine with the speed, which nobody knew he had that. So
yeah, I didn't think he was going to be that fast.
Nope.
So. With the 27th pick in the NFL draft, the Seattle Seahawks
take Chickens.
Cesar Ruiz, interior offensive lineman from Michigan.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
They need to get old Rusty Dubs some offensive line help, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that pick.
They could also use some edge rushing help because who knows what the heck's going to happen with Jadeveon Clowney.
Yes. 28th pick got the Baltimore Ravens. They need help at linebacker, offensive line, wide receiver, edge rusher. They're going to get a linebacker that really slid. I forgot he hadn't even been picked yet, and that's Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma.
Kenneth Murray, yes. I knew that was going to be the pick. Good pick. That could be an absolute steal.
It sounds like that just fits the Ravens.
I know. A team that's already loaded on defense and offense. The rich get richer. It's a good pick.
Yep.
The Tennessee Titans are on the clock with the 29th pick. Their biggest needs are edge rusher, defensive tackle, offensive line, cornerback, and running back, it says. They have a good running back, but he carried the ball a ton. The Tennessee Titans select. Let's see here. Who has not been? You know what? I'm going to go, and I know he had a bad combine, but I am mocking A.J. Epineza.
Yeah, I like that.
Defensive lineman, Iowa. He has a lot of talent.
I've seen a lot of mocks have him there or New England, it seems like. So.
Yeah. He seems like a New England 3-4 defensive end.
Well, Vrabel's the Titan coach, so he's got some New England in him.
That's a good point.
Number 30, I got the Green Bay Packers, Titletown, as they like to be called. They need help at wide receiver, tight end, defensive line, cornerback. I think they give Aaron Rodgers a wide receiver, and Denzel Mims from Baylor.
Nice. Good pick. I like that pick. I have the San Francisco 49ers. Again, I mocked, who did I mock? Henry Ruggs to them, I believe.
Yes, you did.
For their first-round picks. A wide receiver, no longer need. Offensive line, defensive line, cornerback, and safety are listed as needs here. They have a great defense, of course, or a good defense anyway. Is it a great defense? I think it's pretty good defense.
It's pretty good defense.
So I'm not going to, I think I'm going to go offensive line here. I'm going to go Josh Jones, Houston. Right. I don't think he's been picked yet.
He has not. He has not.
Marking off. So the J-Man is not on the clock the rest of the
You're done.
That's the draft, yeah.
You're done. You left the last pick for me. The defending Super Bowl champion, the Kansas Shitty Chiefs. They need corner, offensive line, running back, linebacker. I think they just add to their offensive firepower and get DeAndre Swift, running back from Georgia, just to tick me off.
How dare you?
Yep. I almost went KJ Hamler.
Oh man, he'd be pair him with Tyreek Hill.
I'm just gonna hate my life for the next decade.
Oh man, they're both Olympic sprinters.
I can see that happening. So
no, there's quite a few teams without a first-round pick. Of course, teams
there's 6 of them. They're the Bills, Texans, Colts, Bears, Steelers,
Rams.
Yep, those 6. Yep.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think the Bears do on day 2? What do you think they need?
I think they probably need some defensive back help. Cornerback and safety is kind of listed as one of their needs. Offensive line is always a need for them. I could see them taking a quarterback for the future. Maybe if a Jordan Love falls to the second round, see them pouncing on that. They probably need another wide receiver. I think Allen Robinson's a solid receiver, but they don't really have another guy that stands out. So I think all those kind of work.
I think they're a candidate to take the first tight end of the draft. They just got they cut Trey Burton. Watch for Cole Kmet from Notre Dame.
I can see that. Yeah. And as for the Colts, I think they need to go wide receiver heavy. They just don't have the offensive wide receiver talent anyway that Phillip Rivers has come accustomed to down in Carson City with Keenan Allen.
Yeah, so. Watch for Jordan Love. I'm telling you, if he slides, Indy could get themselves a good one.
Yeah, so. They need a quarterback of the future. They also need some tight end help. So
my favorite quarterback of the draft, I know he's got question marks around his health. My favorite quarterback, those Tua, out of all of them. So.
I think Tua is arguably the safest guy in the draft. Of course, his injury risks are scary, but if, say, there's no injury risk at all, he'd probably go number 1. I think he'd still be taking over Joe Burrow at number 1 overall. So.
Well, it'll be fun to circle back and see how we did next week on next Monday's show.
I have a suggestion for the rest of the show. We have quite a few things left, but I say we save them for next week. We're not on TV.
Yes.
So I say we save our trivia time for next week. And then maybe we can talk about our worst first-round picks our team has made in our lifetime for next week.
Dude, I never even did trivia for this week. I completely forgot about it right now. So I'm glad.
A good thing.
I absolutely forgot about it because all I had planned was the Last Dance and the draft. So
that's a good thing.
So we'll save everything else for next week. I like that plan.
Yes, sir. You want to hear some Birdie Bogey?
Yeah.
What Hall of Fame player was eliminated from the playoffs by Michael Jordan the most?
I'm between 2 guys, of course.
All right. Of course you are.
But one of them eliminated Michael the most. I'm going to go Patrick Ewing.
You chose correctly.
All right. The other one was Isaiah in my head. So
Isaiah's not even listed on here. Patrick Ewing was eliminated 5 times. Charles Barkley and Alonzo Mourning were eliminated 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. Karl Malone, John Stockton,
twice.
and Vlade Divac were eliminated twice.
Well, Vlade must have been on that Hornets team with Alonzo.
Oh, yeah.
Or no. Yeah, he could have. And Vladdy was also probably on the Laker team in 91 when the Bulls beat him in the finals, because then Vladdy got traded for Kobe. Kobe was drafted by the Hornets.
Yeah, it was the draft day trade.
Yeah. Okay.
So, good show there,
I finally got a birdie. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. It was fun, Jay, man. Once again, to everybody listening that usually prefers watching, we apologize. Hopefully we get that figured out for next week. Not sure what happened. Like I said, this box has been working since September. But thank you to everybody for listening, just like you used to all the time on here. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review. We really appreciate it. And last thing, I'm wearing my Von Miller jersey because I was hoping to be on camera. Prayers up to Von Miller, who tested positive with COVID-19 last week. So with that said, everybody, thanks for listening. We'll see you next Monday. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay sane.